Let's start at the beginning then. Tell us a little bit more about your company before you started working with us.
Yeah, so we're JJRM Flooring, and initially we were a company that were installing any types of flooring. That was mainly obviously due to the fact that we'd take anything as and when we could get it. So that includes carpet, cap and cove, vinyl, LVT and engineered wood. It's just a bunch of us three lads really that started up the company and really trying to progress it forward as much as we can.
Nice. So how big was your team before you started working with us? Number of employees, vans, fitters, all that kind of stuff?
Well, before we actually inquired with you, we were a 4-man team, and that was all of us fitting the actual floors ourselves. And obviously since then, we've now got 2 full-time fitters and then an extra 3 subcontractors that we use as well on a regular basis.
Nice. And in terms of like the areas you cover, where is it that you were targeting initially?
Truth be told, we weren't targeting any location. We would take it as and when we could really get the work. So if someone said to me, mate, I've got a job up in Liverpool, we'd be there tomorrow essentially. So really in terms of areas we were targeting before, that there wasn't any kind of sequential place that we would really go to do these jobs. It would be anywhere and anytime.
So in terms of like the types of flooring and services that you're offering, was there a main focus obviously before we started working together?
At the time, no. While we kind of knew what our high ticket lead items were, we were just lucky someone would even inquire for something like LVT or carpet. So that was more or less seen as luck for us. So really, we wasn't targeting anything. We would take it as and when we could.
And what types of marketing were you doing before we started working together?
Mainly just Google ads, and that was about it. We were spending approximately 750 quid on them Google ads, and we were getting absolutely nothing for a solid 6-month period with a company called Yell.
Right. And why do you think that was? Do you think there was a particular reason why you weren't getting results with them?
Yeah, for me, I just think they didn't understand the flooring trade as a whole. And I don't expect anyone to do our marketing to understand the flooring trade. It's impossible to get our knowledge that we've built up over the last course of 11 years. But what I think is the kind of killer with Yell is they were just using kind of generic terms and things like that, whereas they weren't really narrowing anything down. And this was before I got even an understanding of marketing to a 1%, let's say. That obviously now I think really our issue with Yell was they were just putting on some ads without any thought or any care within them. They were just putting the ads out, and it was just the fingers crossed kind of moment of if anyone clicked on them, they clicked on them. If they didn't, they didn't. So yeah.
And what was your average monthly or annual revenue back then?
About £3,000 to £5,000. So I would even say £2,000 on a bad month or zero. And on a good month, maybe £5,000, if that.
So let's fast forward today then. How has your business evolved since we started working together? What was your average monthly or annual revenue back then?
So monthly on a bad case scenario, it could either be between £0 to £2,000, talking realistically. And on a good month, we'd be lucky to hit 5. Obviously, some months, yes, we did hit 5, and other months we did surpass 5 fairly well. But again, it was mainly down to luck, and there was no kind of order or process in place on how we kind of get those sales in and how we get those leads coming in the first place. And then if we compare that, we can just use QuickBooks diagrams. So this is obviously a comparison between last year. 2023 September, we did about £3,700. That's 2023.
Yep.
The year that we started with you, £10,000. So more than double to what we was doing the year prior to before we even started working with you. Now, then we get on to the next month after that, 2023 November, we did £2,589. But then the year that we did work with you, it was £18,000. So almost a triple in revenue, just like that. And obviously, you can see the trend really continues upwards to a certain extent. So in December 2023, again, we weren't working with you. It was a good month for us. But typically in flooring, you tend to realize the Christmas period is the type of period you want to make sure you're utilizing everything and everyone. So December 2023, we wasn't working with you, and we did £7,871. But the year we did work with you, it was £23,000. I'm sure everyone's aware kind of January to March time is always typically kind of a quiet period. So January of 2024, bear in mind the year that we wasn't working with you was about £8,800. January, whilst we did work with you, were £34,259. So we can see a gradual increase. Obviously, you'll tend to realize kind of our sales really dipped in February for both years, give or take, but it really just does come in spells. I wouldn't even say it was a case of leads not coming in. It was a case of really, we were just looking for full-time fitters at that point, and just due to in-house company reasons rather than the leads really coming through. And then once we did in March kind of hire someone again, we tended to notice an upwards increase. So March 2024, a year we did not work with you, £7,000. March 2025, a year we did work with you, £13,500. So again, we're noticing a double in our revenue. And then obviously we're looking at April, we did about £3,700 in a year that we didn't work with you, which was actually a 1 month before we inquired with you. And then the year that we did work with you, so April, so last month, it was £11,972. So I would say since working with you, to answer your question, our revenue has almost doubled, if not tripled, to some, again, it's different month by month, but again, at least we've doubled month end, which is a good sign after 4 months of working with you.
Okay, so have you grown your team, added vans, expanded your services, or opened any new locations since then?
Yes, the team has grown by 2 full-time fitters on PAYE, and obviously by 3 actual subcontractors that we use when we have an influx of work. In terms of vans, not yet. We're currently leasing them, but it's mainly just down to capital. We're trying to reserve our capital as much as possible for our end goal of owning a shop. So that's why we haven't gotten the vans just yet. So that'll be part of a collective group during our kind of a 2-year end goal, give or take. In terms of kind of, have we expanded? I would say yes. Before we would go anywhere and everywhere really, to wherever the work is, we take it. We're quite lucky since we've started kind of our SEO package, we were able to narrow down where we worked, and it was places we wanted to work.
So fast forward today, how has your business evolved since working together?
Since working together, I think the key difference isn't the revenue. While yes, our revenue has doubled, if not tripled, since working with you, our biggest kind of thing that we're glad is since we started working with you is we're not working in the business, we're working on the business. And I think that's good for any entrepreneur. Is, truth be told, I hated fitting. My knees were gone. Like I had sawdust in my lungs on most days if we were doing wood jobs. So, you know, working in the jobs, it was horrid. But then when you're working on your business, that's where the real progress comes in, because you see your business from an outside perspective. Because, you know, it's all well and good you're fitting the jobs, but then who's going to the customers, who's measuring up? Because there's a million and one different tasks as a business owner that you have. That I say the biggest key takeaway isn't our revenue, although yes, it's grown substantially. It's actually the fact that we're able to work on our business rather than in our business.
Has your focus shifted to different types of flooring or projects since working together?
Yeah, so I think what we kind of understood when we first started working with you is understanding what our high ticket leads were, or high ticket items, should I say, and how we can really funnel that forward. Because it's all well and good doing kind of carpet jobs here and there, or doing loads of carpet jobs, but we're making pennies on the pound with carpet jobs. Whereas LVT, we're making money on the subfloor prep, the ply, the screed, and the LVT, not to mention the labor. So that's 5 different aspects. Whereas with carpet, you're making it on the underlay, which is quite cheap in general anyways, and the carpet plus the labor. But carpet is a lot more kind of competitive, whereas LVT, you'd need to be quite specialized to really start doing that that kind of neck of the woods. And it's the same with engineered wood flooring as well, and solid wood flooring, is they're also our high ticket leads. So I would say before working with you, we would do anything and everything, because we would take it as and when we could, because we couldn't control what came in. Whereas now we're able to focus mainly on LVT and wood jobs because they're our high ticket items.
Just reflecting on your experience with us so far, how would you describe the impact we've had on your business?
I think for us, the best way I always say it is I love to compare other people and other businesses. And the way I do it is with Yell, who are our old marketing people, there was nothing really personalized and there was no real heart put into it because it wasn't a personalized service. Whereas I feel like ever since we got with you guys, it's been a lot easier for us because it's less worry for us, because you guys are giving us, 1, a personalized kind of experience, but 2, you're giving us an experience where not only do you understand marketing, but you're there to make sure as we're doing better, essentially it helps. It's a kind of chain effect. It helps you guys out, and really it's been working for us. So I would say the biggest difference for us is the fact that this is more of a personalized service. So that's kind of the main impact that we've got here.
So what specific ways would you say have helped you grow, generate more leads, or improve your visibility?
So I would say number 1, first and foremost, has to be kind of our SEO, because I'm sure if there's one thing that anyone knows, especially once you start getting into SEO, although yes, we were scared to do it at first because the costs were quite high for us as a business, we knew it was a long-term thing. So our SEO really helped us because they were organic leads. People, once they see good reviews and organic pages, they will tend to go to us more easily, and then therefore we'd win the jobs at a much easier rate. So I would say the SEO is always first and foremost because it was the backbone of our digital marketing program. And then as we started developing our Google Ads, they are starting to do really well as well. And I'd say with the SEO, they're always going to be 9 times out of 10 amazing leads, because again, when you've ranked high, people aren't going to scroll to the third page to find, a contractor. They're going to stay on that first page. So I would say the SEO number one, but then our Google Ads as well has helped us get us leads as well. Because the good thing about the Google Ads, although yes, I'm sure you could admit we were quite scared to do them at first, is again, it goes back to the kind of tailored approach that you guys have. Is they're always evolving, these Google Ads. It's not one day it's the same. They're always changing, and you're always kind of approaching us saying, by the way, mate, how were the leads have been today? Like, what have you noticed? And then I'll kind of give you the feedback in terms of how the leads were, and then we kind of improve from there. So a good part of working with you has been the fact that it's been such a tailored approach that yesterday's Google Ads aren't the same as today's Google Ads. There's always minor changes or major changes that are always happening. So it's almost an evolving process, which has been good for us.
Okay, nice. So just looking ahead now, what are your goals for the next 12 months?
For the next 12 months, really, it's about one, growing our fitters, because trying to find a good tradesman is quite hard, to be honest, but trying to grow our team. And the way we're kind of doing that is because obviously we spend a fortune on subbing our work out, because obviously with floorers, they're going to be charging £40 a square meter and things like that. Is one, growing out the team. Two, kind of evolving our revenue to make sure we're a lot more profitable with our revenue. But then three is to open up the shop within the next 12 months, give or take. And that's why we're preserving a lot of our cash, is just to make sure we've got it then and there.
So do you feel like you're on track to hit those goals at the current rate?
I would say we are on track to hit it. I would say we're just falling slightly behind by a month or two, but I wouldn't even say that's more of a marketing ploy. It's just been a lot of things that have gone wrong on our end with kind of commercial work and things that have transpired. But really, we should be on track, give or take a few months discrepancy.
If you were to recommend us to another flooring company, what would you say?
I would really say be patient. Unfortunately, and we learnt this the kind of hard way with Yelp, is it's not an overnight thing. Like, success in general isn't an overnight thing. So just imagine your success and marketing on the same kind of streamlined processes. It will take time. You will kind of burn through a little bit of cash within the first 3 to 4 months, but I would really say it's so worth it in the end. Because if you were to tell me a year ago we'd be doubling our revenue, I'd really just say in the nicest way possible, you're talking absolute nonsense. But the proof is in the pudding, really. So I would say be patient is the main one, really. Be patient, because it's not an overnight thing. It does take time and it does take a lot of effort, but really that's the only advice I could give to any flooring company.
Okay, so what's one piece of advice that you can give other flooring companies that are looking to grow?
I would say if you're looking to grow, really understand business, not flooring. And what I mean by that is, one, when we first had our initial call, you asked us, what is our high ticket lead item and what is the percentage you make compared to your lower ticket sale items? And that really clicked for me. Is we've been working on kind of volumes rather than profit. So before, we could have been making, that odd £7,000 within a month, but within that £7,000, there's probably about maybe £2,000, £3,000, if that, profit within those jobs. So I would say really to grow your business is understand, number one, your numbers. And then two, really work on your business rather than in your business. And I guess it is a stage, so you can't do it just overnight. But once you start working on your business, you see it from a third person perspective. And that's all you could really want, because then you could really see how to improve your business. So again, it's different case by case. But one is make sure you're kind of working on your business rather than in your business. But then two, understand your numbers. That's very key. The key points there.
Nice.